Welcome to Our Family Stories, a podcast started by Global Peace Women. In this podcast, we talk about the different stories from our families, the lessons we learn, and how it can make our families stronger. In this episode, we will be talking about the source of our confidence. Hope you enjoy.
Welcome back to Our Family Stories. It's a podcast by Global Peace Women, and through this podcast, we hope to share stories about families and how it warms our hearts, family stories that remind us that family is the heart of peace. So we have a lot of different kinds of stories that come our way, right? The sad ones, the happy ones, the ones that make you laugh, the ones that make you cry. But that's part of life, the ups and downs. And what we like to do here in this podcast is unpack some of the lessons that these stories give to us, because I think it's in these everyday little moments of life that the richest lessons lie. So we gather this group of women, amazing women, to talk about our family stories. We can share some of our insights, but definitely I also like to hear those insights come in the form of stories. So today, we'll go around. Please give your introduction. We'll start with our guest of honor from Uganda. Please introduce yourself.
Wow, thank you so much, Madam Hanako. I don't take this lightly. Like you said, guest of honor is quite big, but I take it. My name is Hope Kemigisha, and like she said, I'm in Uganda right now. I do work with Global Peace Women, and I'm a leader in Uganda. And I do a lot of other things, but today I'm very much interested in this topic because family is the backbone of everything that we do. And service is what I've done, I think, from the time I was born. Whether I knew it or I didn't know it, I wasn't aware. It's quite an interesting topic, and it's very good to see each one of you. My beautiful other ladies, it's beautiful to be on this podcast with you. I think that someone would be blessed today. Thank you so much.
I agree. We're already blessed because you're here.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shraddha Casey, and I work with Global Peace Women in helping share the family stories through social media.
In my turn. So, hi everyone, this is Anulama from Nepal, and I'm currently working with Global Peace Women in communications, and it has been great. Really looking forward to this session.
Yes, me too. I'm Hanako, and I work with Global Peace Women too. So here we are, 4 wonderful Global Peace Women, service-minded women. Yay! I'll be honest, right? I feel like I'm in my family. Hope you said it so well. We look a little different, but when I sit here with you, even if it's virtually, I feel like I am with my sisters. So without further ado, let me share a little bit about our topic for today. I think for me, it's an ongoing battle, I think. So when we think about women in various stages of our personal and professional development, we're all from different levels, I think, different places in our life. And well, for me, I know I look often at, what is the measure of a successful woman? Hope you have lots of accolades. And sometimes I'll be honest, I'll be like, whoa, someday I might get there. We have these categories of career, prosperity, families, personal skills, beauty, personality or poise. These are all different ways that we measure ourselves. But today, I want to think about what are some of the places where we get an enduring sense of confidence, something that allows us to move beyond these ups and downs, something that allows us to make mistakes and learn from them, something that transcends the external measures of who we are and how good we are. And I think they probably come somewhere in our sense of self that comes from the family that we come from, the identity that we hold for ourselves, probably our spirituality as well. So I'm really looking forward to sharing with each other what are some of these sources of confidence. To start us off, what we usually do is share a story. So I'm going to share one. This one is from Japan, I think. And give me a second. Start it up. So the story is of a daughter sharing about her mother's story. So it's set in the 40s, but let's take a look.
Okay, thank you so much. Personally, I would say we get our confidence most especially from our past, because your past predicts your future. It is your past that you look back to and you're like, I'm able to challenge this mountain that is before me because I've challenged it before. So I think this that I'm facing right now, or whatever comes in my way, or if I have to do it, I think I'm born to do something and I'm born to be able to achieve a few things. One of the things I always go back to, there's this song by Luther Vandross, Dance with My Father. Every time I listen to it, I cried, I cry, because when I was young, my dad used to tell me powerful words. He said, Hope, you're going to be a minister, you're going to be a president one day. I was very little, at the age of 3, 2, and I'm the last born of 10 children, but he kept telling me that. And to make it, I don't know what he was seeing, but we were in the village setting in Uganda. So he called some Americans. He had friends who were Americans, and he told them, I want you to take my daughter to the city. I don't want her to grow up in the village, because I don't want her to be in this environment. I need her to change environment. So at the age of 4, he made sure I left the village and I started staying with Americans in the city in Kampala. And they started teaching me, and I was exposed. Every time he came to the city, he used to hold my hand and walk with me to offices. And I didn't understand it. I was like, this old man, he just likes walking with me, taking me to prime minister's offices. Why does he? It's boring, you know? I'm like, why does he like walking with me? Like he would go with me to offices. It baffled me, because I was young. He's talking to a bunch of old people. I'm just there playing. I'm like playing with their beard. But I didn't know he was building confidence in me. It's actually now that I look back and I treasure those moments, because he was opening a great for me. He was taking me to powerful men so that when I meet powerful men, I don't shrink. Even right now, I can go to any president, I can go to anybody and talk to them. But then I didn't know what he was doing. But every time we walk like to the minister's office, I'm asking them silly questions, childish things, they are answering me. So it's like this fear, this intimidation was sucked out of me from the age of 5, 4, 3. So right now, many people tell me, Hope, you're so bold. I don't see it because it's me, it's part of me. Like I'm not like starstruck, because I think he started doing that in me at a tender age. So the confidence to talk to people, I can meet anyone and just say hello and bring my point forward. I can enter a stadium of 1,000 people and I'll just start talking, because he showed me that people are humans. People are, you can talk to anyone freely. It's the way you approach them. If you can pull out the titles of people and take out the cultural differences and remove the nations they are in and all this, then you get to see that we are actually the same. Like you said when we were beginning, we're just different colors, different nations. But at the end of the day, when you get to know people, and Global Peace has helped me to know this, when I interact with the Philippines, with the people in India, with New York, with Kenya, I realize that we are actually the same, but we lose our confidence when we think that the color, the titles probably change someone into some unreachable person. But to be honest, we all have that soul in us. And I thank my father for that, because he opened doors for me. And today it's very easy to open that same door and walk through it. So that is one of the things that gives me confidence in everything I do. And then number 2, it's again, I'll try to share a little story. We are 10 children. I could have been that child that was never born, but I got an opportunity. So it gives me confidence that if even in the tummy as an egg, I was able to fight through and the Lord helped me come out. I think I have the confidence. There's a reason why I'm here. So it shows me that story. My mother tells it everywhere she goes, because out of the 10 children, this one, I'm being honest, she says it everywhere. I am the child that has answered all her prayers. So that gives me confidence to know that, you know what, Hope, it's not an accident that you survived that roadblock. It's not a coincidence that your father again sees something in you and then he says, no, go to the city, go get good education, go be mentored, go be raised by white people. So I'm not scared of white, pink, blue, yellow, because from a little age, I've crossed barriers, I've crossed territories, I've seen how the Americans live, I've seen how, so all these things give me the confidence. Every time it's tough, every time I feel like giving up, I'm like, do you remember that it was a narrow escape for you to be on this earth? So go back, let it count, let every minute count, let every second count. So if it is from childhood, those 2 scenarios, they literally gave me a lot of confidence. I have a third one, I'll try to make it quick. We was many boys at home at that age. At my teenage years, the Americans left and went back to America. So I had to come back home to my parents. But of course, my mindset was different. My understanding of life was different. So they put me in a school and my dad would call me to his bedroom every morning. And he would go under his pillow and pick, I would call it $1, but a shilling in our currency. He would pick 10,000, which is an equivalent of like maybe $2.5 or $3. and give it to me. And he would tell me, Hope, I don't want any boy to lie to you that they can give you anything. I don't want any man to tell you that they can provide for you anything. I am your father and I want you to eat. I know you love cookies so much. I know you like chocolates. I know you like all these things. So this money, go buy whatever you want. Let not anyone deceive you that they will give it to you in exchange of your body or in exchange of your time or anything. Every morning before I went to school, he made sure he called me. And I was like, why does he do this? So it really humbled me. He was a visionary man. He saw me, and even now, as an adult, at one point, I had to be a single mother, and you're struggling with your children, and you don't know where the next meal will come from. You don't know where rent will come from. You don't know whether you'll pay their school fees. And there are all these men who are saying, Hope, we can take care of you. I always remembered my father. He said, you can do this. You can buy everything you want. No man should take advantage of you because they are giving you these things. And for me, those things, they give me confidence, not to betray the trust that some people have put in me. The Americans that didn't know me, but they took me up and raised me. The community, it's all these other things around you, your children, your family, that you look at them and you're like, I'm not going to disappoint them. I can do this. I can actually do this. So I go out there and do even things that I have no clue how to do. I'm like, I'll learn on the job because I have people cheering me on. I have my little babies. They say, Mommy, let's pray for you. My son is 5 years. He's always saying, my mom is the richest woman in the world. She is famous. She's so powerful. And when I hear those words, I'm like, I'll not disappoint him. I need to be his role model. I need to be their role model. So these things give me confidence to battle the world, to do what I do, to go out there and challenge myself, because there's someone who saw it at a tender age. So I don't give up. I keep pushing. I'm like, my mother says I am her answered prayer. So I need to do more so that whatever she desires, I provide, I make a way. So this is personally, these are some of the things that give me confidence. Of course, not forgetting Christ, the identity of who I am in him, knowing that he made me fearfully and wonderfully, created me in his own image, gave me a mind of his own. I can speak to a mountain and it moves. I can speak to diseases and they bow. These are things that show me, hey, Hope, you're not limited. Why are you scared? Why are you afraid? Go out there. You can actually do it because you don't move on your own accord. There is a power behind you. But my childhood played a very big role, and the words we speak to our children are powerful. You may not know, but they are really powerful. And the people in our lives, when they say, Hope, I don't know how you do it. Like Shraddha said, I see you traveling the world. I'm like, how does she do this? I don't see it that way, but her saying it, I'm like, oh, so there are people watching. So be careful, do things that influence them, that impact them. That would be my take. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, the whole time I was listening in my head, I was thinking I could listen to Hope's stories over and over again. She just has so many flowing out. And even, when we watch the video and listen to Hope's father's stories, I also relate to that because my dad, when I reconnected with him from Nepal to America, he has always put me in positions where I'm always learning something new. And the reason being so is that he wants to establish the independency that, a lot of other people don't have the chances of getting. And so him being the first one to travel from Nepal to America, I guess at first he was all alone. And so when the rest of our family came over, he wanted to show that, I did this alone. Even though you don't have to do it alone, it's better if you experience these things on your own. So that way you have the full confidence of going out and doing whatever it is that you want to do. And so hearing Hope's father's stories, I was like, oh, that's actually very similar. It's not the same exact story, but it's very similar environment in that they want us to learn so that we can succeed in the future. And I guess in this way also influence other people to do the same. And hopefully I'm on the same track with my younger brother and I'm putting him in these positions now that my dad's given me the torch. But just the whole story, the video and Hope's stories just made me think of that story as well. Thank you, Hope. It's like it's giving me stories to talk about. The more I listen to you, the more I'm like, oh, I have this story too.
Yeah, no, that's the intention, right? We all have some common experiences just as being humans. And I think one story will spark another, and then we realize that we have this collective body of experience and knowledge that affirm these values that are just enduring. So you were talking, Shraddha, and I was thinking, there's a story that I think my father used to tell me the mother lion will throw the tiger cub or the lion cub off the cliff to train it for the first time and show it that it will land on its feet. I hear from Hope's dad's story and Shraddha's story. Right? Love is not always fluffy. Sometimes it's a little bit challenging, but it's this long-term determination. I'm going to raise these kids so that they can make a mark, that they will learn to live happy and successful, but it's not always soft. Yeah.
Wow.
And then the other thing I heard is the importance of our origin story, right? My sons are into superheroes, Marvel and all, but how our identity, Hope you said, are in our past. How our origin story, right? The people who loved us so unconditionally, who believe in us now, who, no matter where we are in our life, will know that we have hope. That kind of thing, that grounds us, right? It informs where we come from, but the unlimited potential that we have. So I'm really honored to hear your origin story, Hope. The miracle woman of Uganda.
As Shraddha said, I could also listen to you all day.
Yeah.
It is so good to listen to you.
There was one other thing that you mentioned, Hope, that I think would be interesting for us to think about a little bit more. How your confidence comes in, how, because at an early age you were exposed to so many different kinds of people, that even today you don't get starstruck, you don't get intimidated, but that everyone is human. How do we translate our familial relationships and the confidence that we're able to relate to our family members to people of the world, presidents, Hope?
I'll give you an example.
Please.
In my line of ministry and service to the people, I was in the US and I met a big time CEO, like these are people with money, with PhDs, with everything. The woman would intimidate everyone around her. So we were in California. I'm like, this, and the Lord, I'm like, how she really liked me. The woman liked me and came to me and we talked. I was just like, okay, getting her drinks, doing this, like the way I do my things. I'm just easy cause. But then we start talking. I'm like, okay, this woman intimidates me. This, like the aura around her, she's used to being a big time CEO with a multi-billion company, ordering people, bossing. So, but then I'm like, I need an entry point to minister to to be able to reach the soul of this lady. And as we are talking, I'm like, she likes me, but I'm thinking, how do I be of value to her? This is someone who is, she doesn't really need me, but I know that relationships, you have to give something. So as we are talking and I'm ministering, we are talking, she's a Christian, we are talking, I decided to cut off the books she has, the billion-dollar company. I literally became blind to it. I said, cut all this out because this doesn't matter. Now look at this woman and speak to the person, not to the CEO, not to the rich woman, not to the boss. And the woman was breaking down in tears. And I said, wow. When we talked, and then that's when she opened up, and I realized she needed a lot of help. But because of all these things, and the things that she wanted help in are the things that I find so easy, that I know how to handle or to talk about or to do, but because of the barriers that come with societal, you know, the like you say, the accolades. These are things that blind us, especially if we are to go in service. In service, it is you target exactly what you want to give, and you have to remove all these other barriers. And at the end of the day, I see the woman breaking down, crying. And before we know it, the barriers are broken. And before we know it, she literally needs my help. So I always tell people, whatever God has given you, the ability, the gift, it is to help other people. It's just an entry point. It's a key. So when you are talking about that, I remembered I had to first literally blind my eyes to anything around her. And I said, Hope, calm down, relax, breathe. This is a woman. She has two breasts like you. She's normal. She's just normal like you. So forget all these acquired things. Even you have your own acquired things. So you just come and do your job. And it helped me. And the work was done. So these things can blind you and intimidate you, but the confidence is in the solution you have.
I think closing thought is after hearing all of these stories, because when I saw the video, it is a very deep video, so I have to think and reflect. But then after hearing Shraddha's and Hope's story, it is also nice to hear about them. And I think what I learned was that, and what I can say is that confidence definitely comes from families. You know, the way we behave, the way we talk, and the way we view the world, it definitely comes from the family, starting from your childhood, from how you were raised to how you were talked to by your parents, to everything. So for me, that was that. This session was that for me.
Yeah, definitely. It gives a lot of pressure to how we treat each other in the family, because we're building the foundations of each person. But,
yeah, and also the pressure to, a kind of pressure to do, to make a very good environment for our siblings. For me, because I have a little sibling, so for me it's like, oh, now I have to work hard to create that environment so that she could be strong.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, I guess over the years, as a child, I didn't understand, when I was put in certain situations that I wasn't comfortable with, or situations that I was comfortable with. Ultimately, it's those obstacles that you overcome that helps you gain that confidence as well, because that teaches you, next time something like this happens, next time I'm in this situation, I know exactly how to overcome it, or you find different ways, different solutions to do that. And I think that's a very big learning and I guess stepping stone, is that everything that you do may not be fluffy and easygoing. There will be obstacles and you'll overcome them. And if you don't, the next time you'll find different solutions to overcome them.
I love that. Yes. Hope, give us a parting
Yeah,
word.
well, about confidence, we cannot generalize it and think that people will always be kind to you and be nice to you. There are children that are born in war zones. There are people that do not have Americans to take them on. There are people that will not have a privilege of a dad. They've not seen their father. They've not had a mother. But at the end of the day, like my last and most important point was, words are really powerful. Words are the ones that destroy us. When someone tells you you're ugly, it grows in you, and every day you're struggling with it to overcome it. So the most important thing when it comes to confidence is to go back to who you are. It will always have to go back to the person that you are. I used to suffer a lot, and I went through a lot of poverty challenges with my children, and I was intimidated by all these women that could take their kids swimming in good schools, yet they are my friends. But then I sat and said, Hope, you're unique. You may not have all these things, but the love that you have, the things that you give to your children, these are nuggets that will take them. I may not raise my children on tablets and all these things that they are bought with money, but the values that I'm instilling in them, kindness. Even right now, if it was morning, all my children will stream into my room to say, good morning, mommy, hug you like it's a beautiful day. I said, I'm going to start with what I have. There are abilities that are God-given, that are not acquired, that even if someone came and said, you will never make it, you'll never do it, there is something in you that you know you have, and no one can take it away. So as we are building our own confidence, we go back to who we are. Why are you on this earth? There's a reason you're here. When you go back to the economy of God, every man is different, like a different snowflake. Why are they different? So dig deep inside. Your happiness, joy, confidence will not always come from people outside. People are there to tear you down. Actually, that's what the world is for. It is meant to train you and tear you down. But what will thrive? What will help you build your confidence? As a daughter of a reverend, grown up in a beautiful family, I had to go through divorce. I had to leave my marriage. I had to get HIV. I was sick. But then how do I get my confidence to build myself from a point of shame, a point of being neglected, a point of being laughed at, a point of thinking she wasn't good enough to even maintain a marriage, to build myself to a woman that can be attractive again, that can offer services to other people, that can still parent her children without getting all this bitterness and transferring it on to them. It is all a process. Whenever stones are thrown at you, get them and pile them and make a mountain and stand on top of that mountain, so that you can make it known that I made it. So stones that are thrown at you, they are ladders, they are platforms. Use them, pile them. So the confidence will always come from you. Your Christ, your faith. What does God say about you? Why are you there? So whatever challenges you go through, that is actually your platform. Thank you so much.
Enough said. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for this episode. Make sure to subscribe and tune in next time.